Good evening,
Good
and welcome
evening.
to Ministry
Ministry
Media
Media
Mavens.
Mavens.
I'm Cheryl,
And I'm Valerie.
and we know it's been a long time.
A very long time, too long.
Yes, since we have been here offering tips, tools, and strategies to help small churches shine online.
Yes.
And what we want to do is we want to just take a few moments to ask you all to like and share. Like and share. If you are a pastor, if you are a media team person, if you help with the media, if you are the do all be all for media ministry for your church, I want you to share it. And if you are not any of those things, but you want your ministry media team to get this information, we're going to ask you to share. And so we're going to have our heads down for just a bit, and we're going to be doing the same thing because on tonight we're going to be giving just some insight that we've learned over the past 9-10 months of the equipment that is really, really useful and helpful to help you when you are streaming online. So we will be doing live streaming equipment on tonight. So if you or anybody that you know wants to get more information on that, share that with them. And so I'm going to have my head down for just a brief few moments, and I'm going to be sharing this.
We want to try to reach as many people as we possibly can, so don't be shy. I know you know someone that could use this information, so go ahead, get those fingers working. Share, share, share.
Sharing is caring. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. It was taking me a minute to pull this up. All right, I'm going to share it one more place. I'm going to share it to every place that I know that I can because I want to make sure that as many people as possible get this information because I know what it meant for us to have the kind of information that we needed to start being successful online. And I want to give a disclaimer. We are by no means anybody's experts.
Not at all.
We are not the experts. We have just learned over the past, like I said, 9-10 months, what works and what doesn't work, what's good, what's not good. And we learned it like you all are learning it, trial and error, having watched either our Facebook live streams or our YouTube live streams, been like,
did that really happen?
That didn't work. That didn't look good. We should try something else.
Right.
And after having scoured hours of tutorials and videos, talking to people that are doing this very, very well, getting insight from them, we wanted to just kind of chit chat with you all. And after we give some of our tips and tools that we think will be great for you and your live streams, we'll open it up for some questions at the end. So if you have questions, be putting those right now in the chat or in the comments so that we can go through and look and make sure that we can answer as many questions as possible. And also, when you're joining, say hello so that we can see you. And also be sure to tell us where you're tuning in from. So just say hello to us and tell us where you are tuning in so that we can say hi back to you all. How about that?
Yay!
Yay! Okay. Hey, Trina, thanks for joining. Hey, Dexter, thanks for joining. I'm looking down. I'm seeing a couple people that are joining, and I just wanted to say hello to you all. So let's jump in. The three main areas that we're going to talk about on tonight is lighting, sound, and software. Lighting, sound, and software, because those I think are the major areas that will help you when you're moving forward, trying to get great picture, video quality, great sound quality. And typically when we're doing this, we're mic'd up. Y'all see we're not mic'd up tonight.
Not tonight.
So let us know in the comments if you can hear us well. So let us know if you can hear us well. I want to make sure that the sound quality is good as well. Because we were rushing trying to make sure we got here on time that we didn't mic up. And we never forget to mic up. We've been doing this for a while, and so we are typically always mic'd up, but not this evening. Say, touch your neighbor and say, not tonight. We forgot tonight.
We're going to do better, though.
We will do better. We will do better. Okay. Hey, Lady Coretta, thanks for joining. Hey, Leslie, thanks for joining. We see you all on YouTube as well.
Yes,
thank you so much for joining.
Glad to have you.
Yes, thank you, thank you. All right, so I think I'm gonna let Val do the lighting. Since lighting is Val's specialty, we are a 2-member media team for a very small church, but God is faithful. And he's allowed us to be able, like I said, to research and to test until we get, I think, pretty good quality for our live streams. And we'll tell you how we do our live streams. We'll give you some little secrets as to how we do that. And maybe that'll be a help, and maybe that'll be a benefit to you. But I'm going to let Val I'm going to let Valerie talk about lighting and how you can maximize lighting for your live streams.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Lighting, she said, is my specialty. I don't know if it's my specialty. It's just one of those things that I can see when lighting is not what it should be. And I don't know if you all are paying attention to our broadcast tonight. But I do want to point out something that I can personally see with lighting for us tonight. So typically we would have more lighting than we do tonight, but we are making it work. So like Cheryl said, it's just a 2-person team for our church, and I do most of the lighting. If you are noticing the live stream tonight, as you can see on this side of my face, it is a little dark. I don't know if most of you notice that there is a shadow on this side of my face. And that's generally not what you want to see when you are doing a live streaming or pre-recording your service. So typically what I would do in a normal situation is usually we're using 4 lights when we are recording, minimum 4. Okay, so generally there would be a light to my right, directly to my right. Then there would be a light directly to my left. And what I mean is those lights are shining on the sides of my face. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have lights that shine on the sides of your face so that there are no shadows, as you see here. And I'm turned around. Typically the camera will get you a little turned around, so that's why I'm like, which side is it?
Mirror image.
Yeah, so it is a mirror image. So it is actually on this side of my face. You can see that shadow. If I would have had the lights on both sides of my face, you would not see that shadow. You would be able to see my full face completely. So that's the first thing you want to make sure, is that you're well lit on your right and your left side. Then you want to have 2 lights in front of you. One again on the left and on the right. Those will face or hit you directly in the face. The light that we have tonight, we have a big light that's up here, and it's a huge box light, softbox light, that is pointing down to us, and it's hitting both of us directly in the face. So yes, the front of our faces are well lit, and you always want the front of your face to be well lit. If you do have to go lacking, if you can't afford the 4 lights, you want to make sure at least the front of your face is well lit. Okay, and then we do have another small light over here to the right that we're working with tonight. I will let you know that the lighting is rarely inexpensive if you can afford it. The 2 umbrella lights that we use, that usually on the right and the left, it comes as a set. That set ran us about $40. $40. And that I got it through Walmart.com. Initially, I would have gotten them from Amazon, but at the time the pandemic had just started. So therefore, Amazon was only shipping to those people that had needs. So they were shipping to hospitals and nursing homes and those types of things. They were not shipping things that they did not consider essential. So we went through Walmart.com, so you can find that there. And then we had the Softbox Light, which we also got from Walmart.com, that ran us also around $40. So we got a set of lights for around $80 for 4 lights. Now, those lights are very good. That's an entry level. Typically, you want to set those lights no further than 4 feet away from you. So yes, they are going to be very close to you. You want to make sure that it is because you're not using an expensive light, you're going to have to put them closer to get your desired results. Here is my caveat. Some people don't like the fact that when you wear glasses, the light shines or shows in your lenses. You can work with the placement, play with the placement so that it doesn't show up as much, but you are going to have some of that in your streaming, that you'll be able to see the light in the glass lens. There's no way to avoid it unless you just take off the glasses. Then that way you don't have that to worry about. Now,
or you can place them higher to minimize it.
You can place them higher to minimize it, but you're going to be able to see that light refraction in those lenses. Now, I want to recommend a set of lights that is not entry level, but if you want to maximize your lighting, I recommend that you get Neewer. They are is it DP600?
66 LED.
66 LED. Now those lights, they come in a warm, a white, and you can dim them. And the way that they work is, it's possible for you to not have them right in your face. The light is going to work with you. They have the cool lighting, so they don't emit as much heat when you are recording. Those are an upper level light brand, and they run $189. You can get those on Amazon.com. And when I said Neewer, it's N-E-E.
Neewer.
Neewer. Okay. So I said it incorrectly. I've been corrected, and I stand corrected. Anyways, Neewer. You can find that on Amazon.com. Okay. And
thank you. Leslie she's putting the links to these lighting systems in the comments. So be sure to look for the links in the comments so you can go straight to Amazon to get those lights.
Okay. And Leslie, if you don't mind, if you can put that information also on YouTube as well for us, that would be appreciated. So yes, you can find that information or find those lights on Amazon.com. Lighting is imperative. It's easy to light somebody that's fairer skin. And sometimes we don't want to talk about it, but the truth of the matter is everybody wants to be shown in a good light. So when you are a darker tone, you need to have good lighting. We want to be able to see your face. And not just your eyes and not just your teeth. We want to be able to see you, and you want to be able to have a professional look. That is the goal. So always, if you cannot afford the $189 Neewer lights, then go ahead and get the Softbox lights from Walmart.com or Amazon. Either place carries them. Go ahead and get what you can afford. Start where you are. Make sure in your placing that the lights need to be no further than 4 feet away on your right and left, and then immediately in front, right and left for the softbox lighting. Now, with the softbox lighting, it does come with a soft cover to give a soft light. If the cover is preventing you from getting the light that you need, then you want to remove that soft cover. Okay, just let the light shine. and God is going to bless your effort.
Let the light shine.
Just let it shine. I mean, the soft cover actually stops the full light. It diffuses the light, so it stops the full light from coming out. And if you're not getting the light that you are trying to get or the desired look, then you want to remove that cover so that you can get the full brightness of the light until you can afford to upgrade to a better lighting system. But that is the lighting system. No more than 4 feet away. Just make sure that the light umbrella does not show in your camera. Other than that, you're great.
Cool. And I'll give you all a secret tip that we use when we are testing our lighting and how everything is looking when we're testing video. We have a secret Facebook group. Look at your neighbor and say, secret Facebook group.
Secret Facebook group. Secret.
So before we go live are surprised by things, look, whenever we're going to switch something up, if we're going to use a new software, if we're going to use new lighting, we are going to go live in that secret Facebook group so that we can see how it looks.
Right.
So before everybody else sees how it looks, we see how it looks. Like, no, that light is not placed right. No, we have shadow here. Let's move the light over here. So your best friend is going to be testing stuff.
Yes.
Test, test, test. Whenever you introduce something new into your video content, make sure you test it first. So create a private Facebook group and use that as the place that you test. You can also do this on YouTube. Create a YouTube page that nobody has access to and record on private, unlisted. And you can always test what you're going to present before everybody else gets to see that. So make sure that you test. Hey, Kyler, thanks so much for joining. I saw somebody else. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Mariette. Wanted to make sure that I'm saying hello to everyone as you are joining. So that is lighting. And I wanted to also mention, Valerie talked about the Neewer lighting system, that it's $189 and you get 2 lights with that. If you want to start out slow, they also sell that same exact Neewer light, just singularly. So if you don't have the $200, start out with one of those lights. I believe it's like $90 some. So give $100 to that and buy that one light, because that one light is worth 2 of those softbox lights, because that light's gonna blow you away. That's that, and it's a good light, and it's a good investment.
Right.
So what we want you all to see this are these objects or these this equipment this is an investment, because we're gonna be here in this space for a while. And even after we go back to in-person services, there is still going to be a social media internet audience that's gotten used to you and that's going to still want to see ministry from you. So these are investments for the long haul. So let's talk about sound. And I told you all as a caveat at the beginning that Valerie and I are always mic'd up when we do this, but we didn't mic up today because the sound would be so much better if we were mic'd up. So I want to talk about sound. And so I'm going to give you some options for sound. And I mentioned this on the one we did for the National Church. Lavalier mics are going to be your friend, especially if you have a pastor that likes to move, that doesn't like to be stationary. Even if he's not moving a lot, a lavalier mic is going to give him the freedom to do that. And so the ones that we recommend is Power DYs, and I want to just kind of hold that up to you. And Leslie's going to put a link for you to purchase this. Power DYs is one of the first ones that we're going to recommend to you. And I'm going to let you see what it looks like when I say lavalier. These are what the saints of God call clip-on mics. That's what we call them. This clip-on mics that actually just attach to a tie, to a shirt, to a jacket. And it allows the sound to be so close to your mouth that it picks up sound really well. And this Power DYs mic, I believe I spent like $33 for it. And it has a 30-foot cord to it. And when we are recording our services, we do it through Switcher Studio, which means we have to have iPads and iPhones. And so if you have a newer iPad or a newer iPhone, you're going to need an adapter to attach to the mic that goes to your phone. And you can get this adapter on Apple, Amazon, and I didn't link that, but you'll need an adapter only if you're using Switcher Studio. Well, let me think about that. You also may need it if you're using other software as well, but you'll need an adapter for the mic. So this is the PowerDewise mic. Like I said, it's under $40. There's another one that I also recommend. It's called Purple Panda. It's the same kind of lavalier mic. Those are available at Amazon too. It's also a 30-foot cord that comes with that. It has several adapters to it as well. And this one is, I think, like $37. So either one of these, depending on what you want, they are both great. We use both of them. They are under $40. Now for the saints of God that want to be wireless. This is a mic that I have been praying to the Lord and eyeing for for a long time. So y'all touch and agree and pray with me for this mic. It's a wireless mic and it's by Rode, Rode.
The best.
Some of the best mics that you can get. If you're looking for mid-range to high-level mics, either a Rode or a Shure, Shure, are the best mics that you can get. But Rode makes what they call a wireless go. It is, and since I'm praying for it, I don't have it yet. It is about this big. It's square and it clips on to anything, but it's wireless and it feeds from your soundboard, or it can feed to a computer, or to, I think you can also feed to a phone. Now that
So it's
Bluetooth, that wireless mic is $450, y'all.
Woo!
Which is why I don't have it yet. Praise the Lord. But it is the most recommended mic for churches, for live streaming, for YouTubers, which I'm a YouTuber. It's a great mic. And those brands, if you're looking to the mid-range to the high-level mics, Rode and Shure, Rode, Rode mics, Shure mics, Shure mics are the best mid-range, top of the line mics if you're looking in those. And so any of those mics from those companies are going to be great for you. Because here's the thing, lighting and sound is going to make or break your, okay, I won't say break, it's going to add to your live streaming. Because, and even as I've researched and I've talked to people about it, they'll even tell you sound over video quality, because people will watch poor video quality if the sound is great, but they will never watch great video quality if the sound is bad.
Wow.
Because if you got perfect sound and it's like, and you can't hear what the person is saying, it doesn't matter that the video quality is great. But I would say make sure that both of them are the best that your money could buy. I don't advise anybody go into Hawk, or into financial duress trying to get some of the top of the line things that we are mentioning, because truth be told, a Softbox light set is a great light set. Truth be told, a $40 PowerDewise mic can take you places and make you sound superior and make you sound great. But when you are with those, because that's how we started out, we are just now getting ready to just up level and do better because we know more.
Right.
We've learned more. It's not that those mics aren't good. It's not that those lights aren't good. It's that we found better, and we'll always continue to grow. We'll always be advancing. We'll always be making our sets better. We'll always be learning more. And so I want you to see this as a learning process, and not that you're going to get this light set and kabam, everything is going to be perfect. No, because then they'll make something better. Y'all know they do it all the time. That's why we keep buying cars. Because something better, something that's more efficient is undoubtedly going to come out. And so that is lighting. And so remember, if you have any questions, to be dropping those questions in the comments so that at the end we can talk about that too. And so let's talk about software. How do you take the ministry that you are recording, or whether you're doing it live, how do you stream that on Facebook, on YouTube, so that people can actually see and experience your ministry? We talked about Switcher Studio. That's what our ministry uses when we are recording. Now, our ministry, we pre-record our messages, our services, and then we stream them because we are in the country.
Yes.
And even though we have great Wi-Fi at our church, we have what is it called?
Delay?
A mesh system.
Oh, okay.
We have Google Mesh in our church, and we get great Wi-Fi. But when you're trying to stream a service, stream content, that upload is not good enough to not have buffering. And so we decided, instead of having y'all look at us jumping, that we just go ahead and we would actually pre-record and we premiere our services, which act almost exactly like live. So we premiere them on Facebook and we premiere them on YouTube using Switcher Studio. Switcher Studio allows you to add all those beautiful things, those lower thirds. It allows you to add video, countdown clocks, all of that inside of your broadcast. And so that's something that we love to use. I believe Switcher Studio is like $39 a month at the lower level, all the way up to, I believe it's $69, $79, something like that. It's under $100 a month if you want to be able to upload large files. The lower files are at the entry level, the $39 a month. And then if you want to, like, the more video you add, the bigger that file is going to be. And so if you got more than 30 minutes worth of service, you're going to need not the lower levels. You're going to need either the mid or the high level to actually transmit that way. The second piece of software is Restream. Now, I know you're thinking, well, do we need all of this? If you want to what they call simulcast or multi-stream, which means going to more than one location at the same time, you will need a simulcast service, which Restream is. What you're watching us on right now is Restream. We're coming to you on Facebook as well as YouTube at the same time. And so you'll need a service that does that, and Restream is one of them. I think the base Restream starts at like $19 a month or something like that, and it goes upward based on, number one, the kinds of options you want and the size of the files that you'll be uploading. So Restream allows you to stream to Facebook, to YouTube, to LinkedIn. I think Periscope is on there. I don't know if people still use Periscope. I think it's going away. But anyway, it allows you to stream to all those services, and also Facebook groups, Facebook pages, Facebook profiles. So all the ecosystem in Facebook. Instagram is not on there yet. And I don't know if it will be or when it will be, but those are the places that you can live stream through if you're using a service like Restream. And there's several other ones. You don't have to do Restream. There's one called Blue Jeans. There's another one called Boxcast, I think it is. There's several different kinds of. Caster is one. So if you want to do some research on which multi-streaming simulcast service is best for you, feel free to do that and just try them out. See which ones you like best. See which one works best for you, because something that works for us, it may not work for you, and you may want to find something different. So those are the software options for you. And before we jump into Q&A, I wanted to give y'all another secret. It's not really a secret, but it's a tip that I want to give to you, because I know some of you that are watching, you're using different software, like you're using the Restreams, you're using Switcher Studio, you're using the Ecamm Lives, you're using StreamYard, you're using, what's the other one? vMix.
Yeah.
You're using all of those, but then, you send us questions. How does this work? How does this work? Here's a tip I want to tell you. All of those services have Facebook groups and YouTube pages. So my suggestion I am in most of them. If you are a Switcher Studio user, find the Switcher Studio Facebook group. They have a Facebook group of people all over the country, all over the world that use Switcher Studio, and the people that run Switcher Studio are in that Facebook group. So if you ever have questions, if something ever breaks or doesn't work for you, or you tried something or you're stuck somewhere, you just need some feedback, they are in those groups. You can ask all the questions that you have about that software in that group.
Great information.
I learned so much just from the Facebook groups. When I have a software called Ecamm Live for my YouTube. That's I do my videos through Ecamm Live, and they have a support group. And so when I'm trying to learn how to do something I don't know how to do, I can put a question in there, and within hours I will have an answer telling me point by point. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. Have you tried this? Have you thought about this? The whole community, and there are thousands of people in those communities that come together to help you answer your question, to help you figure out what's going on. So if you have software, Switcher Studio has a Facebook group. They also have a YouTube channel where they're doing tutorials all of the time on the questions that you have. If you have vMix, find the Facebook vMix group. Subscribe to the vMix YouTube channel to get your questions answered. Even for lighting, and this is for the media team that you work with, let's say post-production, and you're doing the editing. Some of the best tips and tools or tricks I get from YouTube. I YouTube everything, y'all. If I have a question about something we're doing, whether it's lighting, whether it's sound, I'm going to be on YouTube and I'm going to be asking them, how do you do this? How do you do that? How can I do this? How can I do that? And I'm going to find answers on YouTube. But there is, and I meant to write it down, and I'm going to have to come out of here and go on YouTube so I can find it for y'all. I want to give you some suggestions for YouTube channels to be looking for. And let me see, let me get in my... And I would be able to not find it right now, huh? Okay, y'all, I can't find it right now. But what I'll do is I will post it in the comments.
Cedric says Switcher Studio is the best output of money.
It is. Thank you, Cedric. Hey, thanks for joining. Switcher Studio is, and you're right, for the investment, but for the professional level quality that you get, Switcher Studio is amazing. It is amazing. And now you got to be a Apple user, because it's only on iPhones and iPads. And I would say buy one if you don't have one.
That's Tim Henderson. Pastor Tim Henderson just commented. He wanted to know if it was only iOS.
It is. It is only iOS, iPads, and iPhones. And here's the thing. If you don't have an iPad or an iPhone, somebody in your church does. There is a member in your church. So aside from going to purchase this equipment, find somebody that has either an iPhone 8 or above, or an iPad, a relatively newer iPad, and use that, because that is all you'll need for Switcher Studio. And this is a tip that I talked to somebody earlier this week, and they were recording video, and they were like, it doesn't come out really good. This is a tip. If you're going to record using your phone, remember that you want to use the back camera for your phone. Don't ever use the front-facing camera, because the front-facing camera is really for selfies and all of that. It's the quality camera on your front-facing camera is never as good, or it isn't meant to be as good as the back-facing camera. And these newer level iPhone back-facing cameras are almost like your DSLRs. They are wonderful cameras. So when you're recording, and I know y'all be wanting to see, that's why you're using that front Facebook. Don't worry about seeing.
Well, if you want to see, and I do lives when I'm doing my other business, and I use my phone and I use the back camera. But what I will do is get my iPad.
There you go.
And then I set up my iPad so that I can see what you're seeing. And then if something's not right, then I can fix that. But the camera is what I'm using. I'm using the best camera, which is the back camera. So I can't see that on the phone and record at the same time, but I will use my iPad so that I can actually use that as a monitor, for the lack of a better term, to see
good.
what.
And this is important. When you are recording, pastors, um, let's see, ministry, worship teams, remember to look in the camera, not all around everywhere else. When you are preaching, pastor, look in the camera.
Right.
The camera is your audience. This is where the people are.
Right.
In the camera. Look in the camera.
Say it again.
Look in the camera. And just visualize an audience as you are looking in the camera, because there's nothing like eye contact. And when people are watching your broadcast and they are seeing you looking at them, they feel it differently than if
like
you're looking. You're speaking right to them. So remember, forget, even if you have a minimal audience that is, in the sanctuary with you when you're preaching, and you can, periodically glance at them and talk to them. This is your audience right in that camera. So remember to look in the camera.
So we have a question from Iris, and she wants to know what type of laptop or processor is needed for the types of software we mentioned.
And I'm going to give you my recommendation, and I will give a disclaimer that I'm an Apple head. I like Apple products. I've been using Apple products for the last 10 years. And to me, they are superior to other products. But then again, that's my own preference. So I would say, if you are using Apple products, I actually have a MacBook Pro. And I wish I would have gotten more memory on it, and I didn't. But I have the latest MacBook Pro. Anything in the MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, any of those later model MacBooks, I would say get as much memory in them, because video files are heavy.
They're large.
They are very, very large. But even though I didn't get as much storage that I wanted to get in that, what I started doing was I have hard drives. And so after I have finished editing all of the services, I'm going to take them off of my actual computer, and I'm going to archive them on a hard drive. So that's going to be a Seagate is what I usually like. But any kind of, I think my Seagate is like 4 terabyte hard drive that I'll be using probably for the next couple of years. I won't need anything other than that, unless I want a faster processor in my hard drive. So that's what I would recommend for PCs. I don't really have a recommendation for PCs, because I don't use them. So if anybody that's watching has a recommendation for PCs, let us know in the comments. I'm guessing probably Dell probably makes a good computer. I'm not an HP fan, so I just wouldn't recommend HP. But that's a personal preference again. And I always tell you all when this is my personal thing and not something else. But yes, thank you, Cedric. He said Apple was designed with production in mind, and they're great. Now, and here's the thing that stops a lot of people from buying Apple computers is the price point.
Yes.
Because Apple computers are expensive.
Yes.
You're going to spend between $1,500 to $2,500 for a great Apple machine.
Mm-hmm.
But listen when I tell you, it has been 10 years that I have been using Apple products. I am on my second computer. The computer I just bought last year was my second computer in 10 years, my second laptop in 10 years. I promise you won't be buying them every other year.
And like you don't have to worry about the McAfee and all of that for the virus protection, because you really don't have that with the Apple products.
Yeah, so you can buy a PC and spend, between $500 and $800, but you're gonna need another one next year or the next year after that. So every 2 years you're gonna be buying a computer, which if you would have just spent the $1,500 in the beginning, you'd be done. Now I think Apple should just let me make some commercials and make money off of whatever this is. But thank you. Cedric says a Core 5. Iris says Pro Presenter is crashing my MacBook Pro and it is an i5. What kind of memory and RAM are you running in that machine? That may be what's kind of stopping you. Mr. David Smith says he loves Apple products. Yes, they're the best on the market, especially for this. Especially for this. And Iris, what you may want to do is you may want to reach out to somebody in support at Pro Presenter to see if there's some settings that you could be using that'll help you run and not crash. I know I never keep any of my assets on my computer. And when I say assets, I don't keep my countdown clocks, my graphics. None of that is stored on my computer. It is all stored on my hard drive. I have none of that on my computer because I want my computer to run quick and fast. And so I keep everything, all of my assets, all of my mini movies, all of my countdown clocks, every asset, all of the music that I use in our production is kept on my hard drive. It is not, never on my computer, on the hard drive on my computer. It is on my external hard drive. Let me make that clear.
Yeah.
I don't keep it on the hard drive on my machine, on my laptop. It is on my external hard drive because I want my machine, I want my laptop to be quick and run smooth. And so all of those heavy files I keep on an external hard drive and I bring them into the editing software when I'm actually in post-production. So that may help as well, Iris, to make sure that you're not bogging down your system with those files because those files will bog your system down. All right, let's see anything else that's on here. Any other questions? Any other questions that you may have for us?
Let's talk about the licensing.
Music. This is something I'm going to say, and I'm going to give a caveat when I say it. The platforms that we are live streaming to are not our own. They do not belong to us. We have the privilege of using them to live stream. And so when they make rules, we have to abide by their rules or put ourselves in the position to face the consequences of not abiding by their rules. And so when we talk about music, we know everybody wants to play a good, wonderful worship song. We want to play a good choir song when we don't own the rights to that music. And that is against Facebook and YouTube policy. And although now we put that little caveat, y'all seen it, y'all watch all the church streams, we do not own rights to this music. No, we don't own rights to this music. And Facebook can let us get away with that. But here's the thing, they don't have to. At any given moment, Facebook can decide, YouTube can decide. We've told y'all about this. We've let it go for so long. Now we are going to penalize you for it. And since this is their platform, they have the right to do that. So what I'm going to say is if you want to actually sing those songs for your worship team, for your choir, you'll need to purchase a CCLI license to be able to do so. The little disclaimer, we don't own rights to this music, is not enough. Because here's the thing. Those artists have spent their blood, sweat, and tears writing songs, producing songs, getting them recorded, which is very expensive. And they get rights to that music, whether it's performance rights, whether it's mechanical rights, they have rights to it. And when we use their music and we do not pay for it, it is like stealing from them, which is why Facebook and YouTube are so very particular about that, because all of these big record companies are saying, hey, somebody's using our music. We didn't give permission. We will shut them down. That's right. We didn't get paid for that. And understand there's no mean, evil person at Facebook or at YouTube saying, let's get them. There is a mechanical system that is listening to everything that goes out. So when they hear a song that says, Glory to the Lamb. They're like, oh, that's not Sony. They don't have the rights to his music. Mute that song. Give them a YouTube strike. And I have gotten a YouTube strike before. YouTube does not play when it comes to using music, using recordings, audio recordings that you do not have rights to. YouTube is a little different. YouTube operates on a strike system. Mm-hmm. You'll get 3 strikes. They'll have 3 strikes, I think it's within several months period. And if you get 3 strikes, YouTube has the right to deactivate your channel. Poof, you are gone. Facebook is a little different. Facebook will just shut you down and then make you actually come back and prove that you had rights to use it. Or sometimes they'll do what they call mute your music, which means if they hear a song on your live recording and they'll say, hey, so and so and so is claiming rights to this song. We have muted it. And so it'll play, but there'll be nothing going on. And they'll let you say, well, hey, no, we do have rights to this song for this or such and such reason. So buy the license, y'all. The license, I think, is less than $200. And it depends, I think, on your membership, how much you have to pay a year for it. So if you want to have your worship team or your choir be able to sing those songs, buy the license. You can go to, I think it's ccli.org. I think it's org. I don't know. .com or .org. But I think it's org. Well, just Google CCLI and purchase the license. And then when you are streaming, put that license number there so that Facebook knows we have rights to actually sing this song. Caveat, you can sing the song, but you cannot play the original recording. CCLI gives you the mechanical license for your choir, your praise team, to be able to sing it. But you can't play Donnie McClurkin's song because Donnie McClurkin has performance rights because he's the person that sang the song. So you can't be playing Stan, song by Donnie McClurkin on your thing, even if you have a CCLI license. CCLI licenses only give you the right to sing the song yourself, not to play the recording of the song. So that's a good distinction. Make sure that you are singing the songs, your worship team is singing the songs, your choir is singing the songs, and that you are not actually just playing the recording of the song. And lastly, reach out to independent artists. There are so many wonderful independent artists that will allow you to stream their music. We have reached out to so many of them. We only use music from independent artists that allow us to use their music and to place a link on our services saying go buy their songs. That's all we do because we don't want to be in Facebook and YouTube jail. Even though we would really, really, really like to be able to play, original recordings. To me, it's just not worth it to do that. So be careful about that.
You have two things. Pastor Tim Henderson wants to know about the posting the CCLI license on your page. He was told that somebody, if you put it on the page, then somebody could use your license, and he wants to know how do you get around that.
Now, here's the thing. It's true. Somebody could say, oh, we don't have to buy a license. We're going to use Pastor Tim Henderson's license. That license is registered to you or your church. If somebody is falsely using that and they get dinged by Facebook, they will be responsible for that. So I would not use or not post my CCL license number for fear that someone else will use it. Use it at your own risk. We bought this license. We have the right to use it. Another church does not. So another church, another ministry uses at their own risk in case Facebook comes after them. You will be covered. They won't. So I wouldn't let fear of someone else trying to steal my license number stop me from using it. And because we can't say whether they will or not, they may steal it. They may
it's a possibility.
Try to use it because we
people
know
do crazy stuff.
I wouldn't put it past people to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But what you know is that you are covered. Your church is covered. They are not. And if anything ever happens, they will have to suffer the consequences. You won't have to, because you paid for the ability to be able to have your church sing those songs. That's my take on it.
And then we had somebody else that mentioned the FM transmitter. I don't know how many of you are having parking lot services. There is a FM transmitter, and I don't have it near me, but it's a small.
Leslie has the link. Leslie, can you put the link for the FM transmitter in the comments? Thank you.
So it's a small transmitter, and it is something that you can legally use because it is under the FAA guidelines, under the power wattage that you can have in order to be able to transmit on a unused radio frequency. So the way you would do that is you would get in your vehicle and you would find it's usually lower numbers, FM, and I think we used 89.0 when we did it. And so you just connect your PA system up through the transmitter, which will allow you to actually project your service through the car's radios without actually having to agitate neighbors that may be in your area. They don't have to hear the loud noise that's going on, and your members will be able to actually hear the service more clearly. Now, of course, you can, if you choose not to use the FM transmitter, it can be a old-fashioned kind of revival, hear the church music in the neighborhood. You can do that too. But if you're wanting to use the FM transmitter, it's something I recommend. We did it at our church. It was somewhat successful. We did have a few glitches, but they were able to actually hear the service inside their car with the AC going. And now we would want to have heaters going inside the car so you can still hear and participate in the service. So that's the FM transmitter, and Leslie will put that information out there. It requires I can't think of it. There's an adapter that you have to use to put it inside your PA system because the actual terms are leaving me because this is the last minute, but it's a small one, so it won't fit in your soundboard. So you will have to have the adapter to the end of it, which is like this. You will have to have the adapter to put on that so that it will actually fit into your soundboard. But it's real easy to do. You just find a low frequency radio station, and generally the way that you will tell that a radio station isn't being used is when you turn on that frequency, it's a bunch of fuzz. It's just a bunch of fuzz. So you know that station is not being used, and you can use it as long as you have the radio transmitter that is under the wattage that the FAA approves. A caveat to that is if your church is on a interstate. If your church is on an interstate, you cannot use the FM transmitter. That is against the law. And if you get anything larger than the transmitter that Leslie has put in the notes, that's the largest one that you can use. If you use one larger than that, then that is a felony. And you can go to jail for that. So
be safe out in these streets. We don't want to have a prison ministry beaming in. So y'all obey the law.
So that's the FM transmitter for those that wanted that information.
And thank you, Leslie. She says it's also a great option when the weather may not be the best. So if it's really hot, like it gets in Florida,
raining,
they were happy because they had their windows up because it was hot. They had their windows up and they could still hear the service. Or if it's raining, like Valerie said, they can still. Now the people preaching and teaching gonna get wet, but unless you have them under a tent. Set up them under a tent. But it'll be, especially if you have elderly members, they love the fact that they could sit in their cars and be comfortable. They could have the air conditioning on. If it's in the winter, they can have the heaters on, and you can still have drive-up church or drive-through church or however you call it. Now, we had someone, Val, that wanted to, and this is Val's area of expertise as well. They wanted to know where to get these cool backdrops.
Oh, listen. I know we have said this multiple times in this particular live. Amazon is your friend. Whatever it is that you are needing, Amazon can get whatever it is. This backdrop, I got it from Amazon. This backdrop, I think I paid $25 for. The
Boom.
cool thing about Amazon is whatever event it is that you are holding, whatever you're trying to achieve. I actually bought this backdrop. My niece was expecting, and she wanted to do a mountain scene, foresty kind of backdrop for her baby shower. And that's the reason why we have mountains behind us, is because that's what she wanted. Whatever you want, basically you put that in the search. I want a backdrop and I wanted to have a lakeside scene, and they will give you all of the backdrops that have lakeside. And the good thing is you can purchase them in the size that you want. This is I believe this is a 7 by 8. So this one is a little bit on what I consider the small side. Typically, I would like my backdrops to be a 10 by 10. So that means that I can go 10 feet up and 10 feet wide, and it's going to be basically from the top to the floor. This one doesn't actually hit the floor, but you can't see that. But you can get them in any size that you want, depending on what it is that you're going to be doing. So yeah, you can get a backdrop from Amazon in any design. If you want glitter or shimmer behind you, you can get that too. The next one that I'm gonna get, I ain't telling you because I want to be the first one to do it. But anyhow, when I do, I'll let you know. But I like that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of where I got the backdrop from, was Amazon. And then there is another site, I can't think of it right now, where you can do custom. Oh Lord, what is the name of it? If I think of it before we end, I will let you know. It's and it's fairly inexpensive. If you want to do your photo, or if you want to do, let's say you're doing a housewarming and you want to have your house on the backdrop, you can do something like that. So they do. There's a place that you can do custom. Give me a minute to think about it. If I come up with it before the end of the broadcast, I'll let you know. Let me think about this.
All right, and I think we didn't talk about cameras. Although I think, especially if you're doing switcher and you're using iPads and iPhones, those are great. Before we started using switcher, we were using a DSLR camera, which was it a Nikon?
Mm-hmm.
It's a Nikon, and now those are pretty expensive cameras. You're going to spend between $600 up to $2,000 for those kinds of cameras. So I would say, stick with your phones. Even if you have like your Samsungs have some great cameras on them. Those will work for you. If you're going to use a webcam, I would use a Logitech. Like right now, we're on Logitech C920. They're Logitech C920, C922, or the Logitech Brio. Get a very good webcam if you're going to do it. Like pastors, if you're doing Bible studies at home, get a really good webcam if that's how you're going to broadcast. If you didn't want to use your phone, get a really, really good webcam. Do not depend on, or do not use the webcam that comes on your laptop or your desktop. It is not good enough. The quality is going to, I don't care. I have the latest MacBook and the webcam on it is trash. Okay, I won't say it's trash, but it is not good. It is not video quality. It is not production quality.
Okay,
so
that's
do not.
better.
Yeah, okay, I won't say it's trash. Do not depend. It's FaceTime. That's what it's for.
Yes.
You don't want to do anything but FaceTime on the webcam that comes with your laptop or that comes on your desktop. Purchase a really good webcam. The webcam that I have, the Logitech C920, it was under $100. I believe it was like $60 some at the time. The top of the line for me, I would stop at probably the Logitech Brio, which you're going to spend almost $200 for that webcam. But when I tell you, you will have crystal clear quality on it, it's good. It's a good, a very, very good, especially if your pastor is doing Bible studies at home and you're not using the phones or the iPads for that, and he wants to sit down in his office at a desk and actually teach Bible study that way, then I would say get a really, really good webcam to do that. Logitech makes some great quality products for that.
And the website for the custom backdrops, if you want to do something custom, it's called ubackdrop.com. Ubackdrop.com.
U as in the letter U.
Yes. U. Yeah. So that's where you can go to get those custom backdrops if that's what you choose. I think they are affordable there. You will pay more than the $25 that I paid for this because this is a pre-made, but it's still $50, $60-ish dollars for a custom backdrop. I don't think is a lot of money. So that's where you can go to get those.
Cool. And I'm looking through, I don't see any questions. I'll give everybody just another moment or two to drop a question in there if you have one. And if not, we will look forward to seeing you all on our next one. We'll try not to
be so long.
To take so long because we had decided to go every other. Anyway, we won't even talk about that. We're gonna do better this year. It's a new year. It's a new day. It's a new season.
Year. Right.
So we will do better, and we'll be doing some tutorials and some walkthroughs. And Valerie and I have really, really been praying and contemplating offering consulting for small churches that just need someone that need a little more hands-on, that need walk me through, how to set up switcher, walk me through, how to set up my lighting, walk me through setting and hooking up, audio and sound and all of that. And so we've really been contemplating, number one, to do that. Number one, what's the best way out in these COVID streets to be able to do that. So be praying with us about that, because we want to be able to help as many people as we can. And our heart is really, really with small churches, because a lot of times a large church can just, contract this out, or they have, ministry teams, they have media teams, they have audio teams, they have all of that.
25 people helping them.
Yeah. And so if you are a small church where you got 25 members, you don't have, the luxury of that. And so we want to be able to be as much service as we can to you. As you all know, we have a YouTube channel that we posted a lot of videos. And so let us know also in the comments the kinds of questions or the kinds of things that you want in-depth tutorials on. Like if you want to see us set up the lighting, if you want to see us, walk through some of these things that we talked about tonight, let us know that as well. And one last thing before we jump off, once you set your lighting, you have tested it and it is perfect. If you cannot leave it there, because at our church our lighting doesn't move, if you cannot leave it there, get some tape and mark on your floors where you have placed the lighting, so that the next time when you set up the lighting, you can put those lights in the exact same place.
Absolutely.
So mark your lighting. That's what we had to start doing, because we kept saying week after week the lighting was different. Like, it was good last Sunday, what happened this Sunday? Because we were having to put it up and take it down and put it up and take it down. And so what we started doing was marking. This is where we have the key light. This is where we have our field light. This is where we have the backlight. This is where we're stationing all of our lights. This is where we have extra light. So mark it. If you can't keep it stationary, mark where you put the light so that it'll be the same every time. It'll be the same every time. Hey, Mommy, thanks so much. She said, great job. Woohoo! Thanks. Well, if that is all, thank you all so much for being with us on this evening. We appreciate you. If you have any questions, feel free to inbox us something that we didn't answer on tonight, or something that you thought about later that you want to ask us about. Just inbox us and let us know. Thank you so much for your time. We love you, and we pray that God blesses you on your live streams. And on tomorrow, enjoy your services and visit somebody else's service as well. After you've come off your service, go to somebody else's service as well and support them. God bless you all.
Good night.
Night.
Like and share.
This is the next app I'm getting is a switcher where I can just stop right here.